Alright, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. And I do realise in the last session, one of the videos, I did say Dragon Age Inquisitions. It was a lie. Anyway, let's carry on by, let's talk to people. Let's get the verdict on things, see how we're doing.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
Let's just move on. Okay, so nothing to talk to Liliana about. I believe we're going to have a lot to talk to Wynne about because I do believe I didn't say that after I last talked to her. Zevran, we're going to have a lot to chat about. Chat to Alistair, we got a massive approval rating from him because how we finished the last mission.
You know, maybe this isn't the best time to be thinking about this, but I have something to ask you. Chances are we'll be heading to Denerim soon. And when we're there, I wonder if we might be able to look someone up.
Okay, and we'll get what's coming to him, I promise you.
No, I know that. That's not what I'm talking about. The thing is, I have a sister, a half-sister. I told you about my mother, right? She was a servant at Redcliffe Castle and she had a daughter. Only I never knew about her. I don't think she knew about me either. They kept my birth a secret after all. But after I became a Grey Warden, I did some checking and, well, I found out she's still alive. In Denerim.
That's wonderful news.
She's the only real family I have left. The only family not also mixed up in the whole royal thing. I've just been thinking that maybe it's time I went to see her. With the blight coming and everything, I don't know if I'll ever get another chance to see her. Maybe I can help her. Warn her about the danger, I don't know.
If you want to, we could try.
Could we? I'd appreciate that. If something happened to her and I never went to at least see her, I don't know if I could forgive myself. Her name is Goldana, and I think she remarried but still lives just outside the alienage. If we're in the area, then, well, it's worth a look.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed indeed. So, if you remember back to a previous part when we was in the Fade at the Circle Tower, you'll remember that Alistair actually had well, the demon was enthralling him, and he had his sister with him there, and honestly he was thinking he was at her house and he'd invited you in for tea or something like that. But if you remember back to that bit, so it's all true what you saw in the Fade. It's all part of the story, each character's story. The demons used it to enthrall them basically. So let's move on. We'll skip Zevran for now because I do believe he's going to have quite a bit to say. We'll go to Wynne. I do like Wynne. She's a spirit healer.
Is there something you need?
I'd like to ask you something about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
Oh, nothing else right now. We must have spoken to her then. Okay, so to get a certain perk from her, we're going to need to take her out with us. And I do feel that having two healers is a bit redundant sometimes, but depending on the mission it could be very handy. So let's talk to Grunt. Trying to find a way through the earth, are we? It's going to take some time, you know. I do like Grunt. He's a fantastic character. Good luck. Yeah, he's a fantastic character and he's a dog, so there's not much acting to him other than extreme loyalty. So spoken to Alistair. Sten, my man. I do like Sten.
Yes.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Why did you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question.
What was the question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
Hmm. Don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
The last answer sounds like, well, I can see you're on top of that then. When are you going to do that?
Never. I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
What were you doing in that cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
That's not what I meant.
It's what you asked.
It is indeed, though. I do love the Cornari for that. Just tell me.
I did. Parshera. Was there anything else?
I have questions.
I am hardly surprised.
Actually, never mind.
Very well.
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak then.
Okay, maybe not.
Then I suggest we move on.
Let's go.
As you wish.
So I didn't get any approval or disapproval from Sten. That's always a plus. We'll chat to Morrigan before we chat to Zevran.
What do you want?
I'd like to ask you something.
Go on then.
Have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
And you are very cute when you're evasive.
Really? Perhaps we should be wrapped in ribbons and adorned with flowers. So cute are we too. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Fun? You found it fun?
I found the game fun. I was too young to understand the truth behind what was happening. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Flemeth used you as bait.
'Twas a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
They probably thought you was dangerous for a good reason. Do you still think that it was fun?
I think that my mother made it fun so that a child did not learn to fear. And I think that it was necessary. There are no trials for apostates, no prisons, no mercy. There are only absolutes, so only survival matters. If the wilds have taught me anything, 'tis this. First, you must survive. Do you disagree?
You're probably right.
An interesting answer for a mage. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
We got +4 from Morrigan.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
Human?
Oh, she certainly was human. Once. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago is this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
Seems like a fair deal.
Aye, it was. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement in the first place. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
Spoke to spirits or demons?
Spirits first, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. Flemeth did not turn to the demon until much later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Which, they never invaded or they never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
How is it that Flemeth has survived so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
The legend of Flemeth having many daughters. Ooh. Yeah, the legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters, sorry.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why has she refused to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
That's not comforting. Aren't abominations usually insane horrors.
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has coloured her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
An interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious, nevertheless.
There is nothing really to say about her. I love her, what other than...
I see. I find myself a little envious, to tell the truth. But it matters not. Let us move on.
+4 for that conversation. Let's talk to her again.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Can you teach others to be shape-changer?
By others, do you mean yourself?
Possibly.
Then I shall teach you what I can whenever we are in camp, provided you have the will to even make the attempt, that is.
Bam bam.
What do you wish of me? If you must.
Can others become shape-changers? We know that, we just...
By others, do you mean yourself? Then... What do you wish of me? If you must. What do you wish of me?
I'd like to discuss something you meant...
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Why are you still here?
I am here because Flemeth commanded me to aid you. Why? Do you wish me to leave? I can do so if you prefer.
Do you want to leave?
If I wanted to leave, then I would go. I remain, so do not ask such pointless questions.
Oops. Oh, that was a bad move.
What do you want? Go on, then. By others, do you mean
sorry
yourself?
about this, guys.
Then I shall teach you...
Right, okay, so we've successfully pissed Morrigan off. We do have a specialisation point, but I do not want to use it on Shape Changer or Arcane Warrior. Who said Arcane Warrior shouldn't have Arcane Warrior yet? Anyway, so let's... Magic is pretty high now. So I'm thinking we keep running out of mana. So perhaps willpower would be best. Yeah, let's boost our willpower up. Next, so what could we do? Yeah, I've had a quick look over these, and what I want to do is get to haste. I had haste in Dragon Age 2, it's a very useful spell. So we're going to get this spell here, Heroic Aura. Bam bam. Play. So starting to become a bit more of a buffing kind of character now. So we've talked to Morrigan. I think Zevron's next, didn't he? I think I clicked on him.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the Crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training. The sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is the desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
So you have to be a murderer.
Now, it need not be thought of so crudely. We all do our share of murdering around here, don't we? An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
That sounds like it could be useful.
See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the Crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
Yeah, we'll have a good conversation with Zevran. Or Zevran.
Here I am.
Can you teach others to be innocent now? Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Why did you want to leave the Crows exactly?
Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
True enough. You didn't choose to join the Crows.
To be truthful, I didn't even know the Crows existed when I joined them. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
And this system works?
Of course. You compete against your fellow assassins, and those who survive are rightfully proud of it. In Antiva, being a Crow gets you respect, gets you wealth, gets you women, and men, or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage, pretty, but confining.
You seem like you've been spoiled. I think I understand.
As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
You think that will change?
Everything changes, my friend. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the Crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Oh, -1.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Do you actually enjoy being an assassin?
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a Crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared. The authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses. Even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
You never killed an innocent?
Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent? But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens. It's unfortunate, but death comes to us all. If not me, then some wasting disease, or a fall down the stairs, or at the hands of a darkspawn. It's all relative in the end.
very practical attitude.
Death happens, as we like to say. And when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed. The pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
I take no pleasure in killing.
It is not pleasure, per se, nothing sexual. It is more a sense of satisfaction, a feeling of power. Does that make sense? No matter. There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
Why not? You can do whatever you like.
Whereas I am content merely doing what I happen to be good at. It's a talent that not many come by, honestly. I don't see why I need not pursue it. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them. Here I am.
Here you are. Can you teach others to be an assassin?
Oh, I certainly could, but I won't. I swore to the crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, they are already angry at me, I'd rather not push things, you see.
Very well, I'll respect your word.
If you are truly insistent, well, let me think about it. The crows are already angry at me, yes? Who knows? Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Tell me a little about Antiva.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
And has assassins.
Every land has its assassins. Some are simply more open about their business than others. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city.
Excuse me.
Do you come from someplace comparable?
I'm not from any glittering gem, no.
No? That is too bad. If you were, then surely you would spend as much time boasting about it as I do. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
Yeah, that is odd.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home, more than anything else.
You seem like you've been away from home forever.
Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in the store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Your home is still there, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a handsome Grey Warden? A man who then spares my life? I could not.
Everyone makes mistakes. You need to make the most of where you are.
Quite right you are. I see the Grey Wardens do not recruit fools. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal. Here I am.
I have some questions.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Let's just move on. Let's see what else we got.
Here I am.
I want to discuss something personal.
Oh, this should be good. What would you like to discuss?
Never mind. Okay, so I think that's everyone spoken to. And, yeah, now's the time to decide where we're going to go next. We have Orzammar, we have the Dalish Forest. We also have some other side quests to complete, like the Stone Prisoner DLC, and some others. We have other, Warden's Peak DLC, I think it is. So we have a couple of things to do before we move on to, we can either go to the Daily Shelves or Orzammar, or do one of these two DLCs now. Yeah, something to keep in mind, in thought. Let's just get rid of that. So yeah, anyway, join me again next time for some more Dragon Age Origins. In fact, I'm going to do it in about 5 minutes, so these videos will probably go together. I'm going to go make a brew and warm up a bit because I'm freezing. And also my ears are killing from being flat against my face for a couple of hours. See you soon.